doors started in this building. Neil,
Yep.
we got Reggie Stevens here today.
We do.
If you don't know Reggie, he is a local here in Santa Cruz and a professional football player in his day, musician, runs a foundation here in town helping kids become adults and be successful. And welcome to the show, Reggie.
We're going to get the Reggie Stevens story tonight.
Well, it's a great story. Santa Cruz is so full of amazing people with great stories.
Yeah.
And yours is one of them. And so we're excited to share it with people who are tuning in or on the road or laying in bed right now. But let's I guess we'll start
We
back.
should be laying in bed last night.
We should, yeah. Last night was
last night's debacle.
You didn't see last night's show because we couldn't show it. So we'll talk about that another time. But Reggie, let's start. You're from Louisiana originally?
Yeah, Shreveport, Louisiana, man. I moved here in 1990. My dad got a job working at Seagate. And,
What did he do?
he was. Before that, he was a mechanic.
Yeah.
Working in Louisiana, and then job stuff wasn't working out there. So his brother here, Ricky Prim, was here. So then, he's like, hey man, come out to California. So he came out. Got established for about a year working at Seagate. Then he sent for me and my mom and my sister, and then we took a bus here. I remember it was a Trailways
was that,
bus.
three-day
It
bus
was like
ride?
a 2-day ride, and we came in. And it was right the earthquake.
Yeah.
So I saw all the buildings kind of down and whatnot, and that was different. And also to come into a downtown without the big, buildings and
Yeah.
whatnot, and just trying to, and then the first thing,
It's a tiny little surf town.
Well,
Yeah.
especially then.
That
From
water-
Shreveport's a tiny little surf
all
town.
that water overwhelmed me.
It did really?
Yeah, he took me on the wharf.
Yeah.
The first time I got here, he took me to Loud Nelson, and he took me on the wharf, and almost like shit my pants. And I can't swim. I'm not a swimmer. So,
Right.
and then from there, I came in right in the summer, and then I remember going over to Santa Cruz High, and I saw them practicing, and I was like, man, I wish I could play football. I was on a bike at the time, just kind of riding
old were
around.
you?
I was 15.
Yeah.
Then I went home, asked my mom, could I play football? And then I remember my uncle, he took me to the flea market, got me a pair of cleats that hurt my feet, all white with 4 stripes on them. They definitely wasn't Adidas.
They wouldn't need
They
it.
wasn't Adidas.
Extra stripe.
And then the next day I went out there, man, and that's how I made friends with all the guys, Jermaine Robinson, Donald, Paul Quillisi, Strider, Adrian Corcoran, Brendan Amadagio, which, he played in
Yeah,
the
he
league.
played the NFL, huh?
Yep,
Yeah.
and I made friends with them in the summer
Yeah.
because we had practice, and then that kind of helped my transition in school.
Did you play that year?
Yeah.
You made the team, obviously.
Made the team.
And
yep.
was that JV? You played JV that first year?
Yeah, I was on freshman.
Okay.
We had a freshman team.
Were
That's
there-
when we
were-
had a
were
lot
there
of
big
football
squad?
players.
Were
Yeah.
there many black players at that time?
Not really, but
Right.
Donald Keller, he was, and then there was Jermaine. So obviously we connected with each other.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it was like the love I got from and then coming from Louisiana was different because black and white was black here, white here.
Yeah.
Even though we hung out, but it wasn't a tight knit thing.
Yeah.
Here was totally different for me.
It was tight knit.
Totally
I was going
different.
to ask you about the racism
Oh,
aspect. of
big
everything.
racism in Louisiana at that time.
Right,
And
but
I
not
remember,
much here.
No,
Yeah,
I mean
no.
I had some things that I went through, which
Yeah.
we can talk about a little
Yeah.
bit later in the show. But when I first got here, I remember going to a couple friends' house. Hey man, you gotta go in there and ask your parents, can I come in this house? Because I just didn't know. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
15.
Yeah,
Not
you
really a lot of white friends.
Yeah.
And the next day, it's like, man, come on in. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm over there every weekend eating food, doing this and doing all these different things. And
Yeah.
then that kind of like my transition of knowing that life is totally different in different places. So to me, it was a real culture shock.
Just go home to mom, let me in.
I'll tell you a funny story.
I'm in the club!
I'll tell you a funny story.
Tacos.
When I went to school, everyone in Louisiana called me Dwayne Stevens, right?
Yeah.
So I go to Santa Cruz High first day of school, and I remember my teacher, Miss Menace, my English teacher, and she was like, Reginald Dwayne Stevens, and I was like, raised my hand. She goes, you mind if I call you Reggie? And I'm like, okay, sure. Then that's where Reggie Stevens came from.
Right.
But people would call my house, and my mom would be like, oh, damn, Reggie Stevens lived here. She's like, did you tell those people your name is Reggie? I was like, yeah, the teacher,
Yes.
gave me this name. I thought it was cool. I'll
Yeah.
ride with a different name. So
Yeah.
that's how that came about. But everyone in my family called me Dwayne. No one calls me Reggie.
To this day.
To this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call me Dwayne.
Yeah.
So that was like a funny little twist of things happening right there that kind of like gave me a new identity as I moved here, and I kind of just basically took that name and ran with it. Then it was like the Reggie and Jermaine show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Brendan and, you know, some of the other players on the team. And it just, the way things clicked, you know, for my life at that point. And my dad, I can't say enough about him because he was the one that basically changed my life. Yeah.
You made the Hall of Fame, Santa Cruz
High Hall of
right?
Fame,
I
yeah.
just interviewed a friend of mine who just became a member of Santa Cruz High Golf.
Yeah.
Isaac Weintraub is a PGA professional golfer, so.
And how? So So you didn't play ball before your freshman year in high school.
Yeah, I played. Was a quarterback in Louisiana and hated that position. Getting hit every play, running an option, and then when I moved here, they turned me into like a 4-back, defensive back. It was kind of like we ran the wing, the fly. So I was like the fly guy or whatever in that offense. And then like you know, I ended up being a running back my senior year, and Jermaine was the quarterback. And then that's when we kind of figured out. Because it was like we were two talented players, but how did we get them the ball?
Yeah.
So Jermaine had that ball in his hand the whole time, and I was a running back, and we ran an option, and he was able to throw the ball, and then we both were defensive backs.
Yeah.
And then we took that show to Cabrillo and won the Lions Bowl there, and things took off from there.
At high school, did you know that you could make it further, or did the coach tell you that you could?
No, I knew. Honestly, I knew when I was in high school. I was like, hey, I want to play in the NFL. Like it was a thing that I got obsessed with. Marshall Faulk was one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
And then the Dallas Cowboys was my favorite team.
Still to this day, your team?
Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
No. Today I root for the Giants because they gave me my first real paycheck. And
Was Bill Parcells your coach at the time?
no, it was Jim Fossil.
Oh,
Rest
Jim
in peace.
Fossil.
Yeah.
Jim Fossil. He loved me.
He loved you?
You know, his son, we call him Bones. His son, that's the Dallas Cowboys special team coach, used to go to Margaritaville. He loved Margaritaville.
Oh, he did?
Oh, he loved Margaritaville. I was like, man, what are you doing in Santa Cruz, man? Margaritaville. So, but you'd be amazed of how many people that know about Santa Cruz. I don't know if you guys remember Jason Sehorn.
Jason Sehorn was a NFL player.
Yeah, he was. I played behind him. I was his backup with the New York Giants. He lived here until he was 5 years old.
Wow.
5 years old, and then they moved to like Shasta. He went to junior college there, went to USC, became my teammate. But
He was a great player.
great player,
Right?
great player.
Yeah.
And I remember being in there, and no one really talked to Jason. And then he heard I was from Santa Cruz, and he came over, and then everyone was like, "Man, he must like you." And he's like, "That's the Santa Cruz thing."
Right.
And we were able to talk about that. He was like, "Man, I love Santa Cruz. My mom moved me away from there when I was 5 years old, and I don't think a lot of people know that Jason Sehorn lived here
Wow.
in Santa Cruz till he was 5 years old."
That is really cool. What was your number in high school?
My number in high school was number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
And what about as you in college?
Junior college, 21.
Yep.
Rutgers, number 9.
Yep.
Got to the Giants my first year, had that nasty 46.
Ah.
And then I made the team, and then the next year they let me pick a number, and I rode with 28.
28?
Yeah, and then I rode 21 when I played in Nashville Arena League. 21. 21 was always my favorite number.
Is that the Cats? Who was that? Cats?
Nashville Cats. At
Okay.
the time,
Yeah.
Tim McGraw was the minority owner of the team, Pat Sperduto, and there was a reason why I went there. And when I got there, that kind of transitioned me into music, getting a record deal, and that.
Did you save that stuff? Some of your jerseys and
I have it all. The
You have
only
it all?
only thing I don't have is the Nashville Cats helmet, where the cat is on the helmet, and he looks like he's just smoked a lot of weed.
The Stony Cat.
That's exactly. And he has like this banjo that he's holding, and I just felt like, damn, man, we do not look like a tough team coming in with this goddamn banjo in this thing, right? So, anyways, long story short, they just brought the team back. So I'm actually going to go back to Nashville because Dean Kokinis is the coach. So, and he was my defensive coordinator when I was there, and that was how I got a record deal. It was designed, it was planned. It was when I got done with the Broncos, I went into a supplemental draft. The Arena Avengers, they picked me up, and then I got put back in the draft because a new arena team came, which was the Nashville Cats, and I thought the San Jose SaberCats were going to pick me up, but then Nashville grabbed me, and then I figured out who all was in ownership, and I go, oh, I'm going to work my way and try to get a record deal out of this. 2 years I played there, and then after that I met the Warren brothers that turned me on to David Huff, and then I got a record deal.
Wow. It's just that you can't predict that kind of stuff, you know. It's like
You can't, but
yeah.
I was the off season I would do music because it was like
What kind of music? What kind of music?
hip hop,
Yeah.
a mixture between like rap and rock.
Were you producing music or were you playing?
Both,
Oh,
like
both.
everything, you know.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like what I turned into, more of a producer down the road, and was able to write and do other things for other people, create groups and whatnot. And David Huff, he saw what I had with talent, and literally later when I was done, he offered me a contract. I moved to Santa Monica. I was living on 4th Street. It was
that's nice, right there by the mall.
Yeah, most beautiful thing ever. It's kind of like Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
And that transition from my life was really good. That lasted about 2 years. Label folded. I hung around LA for a little bit longer, and I was just like, yeah, this ain't the place for me. Just didn't have that energy once that I wasn't working with him.
Yeah.
Moved back to Santa Cruz, and didn't know what I was going to do with my life. Just kind of didn't know. And then I remember went to Santa Cruz High to be a coach there, and they didn't want me there. And that's
They didn't want you?
Yeah, it was a coach that was there at that time.
Right.
That
Why would they not want you?
hey,
Right.
we on your show.
Well,
and I'm giving you the raw and the real.
Well,
It
it's when they're scared for their job.
It didn't happen.
Right.
Louis Walters
Yeah.
saw me at a gas station and said, "What you doing?" I said, "Hey, try to get a job over here." It didn't work. Got a job over at Scotts Valley, and I've been there for 15 years, coaching with Louis Walters, Jeff Metter.
Yeah.
Built a nice little group, and then I also coached at Cabrillo for 3 years. And then through that process, that's how the Reggie Stevens Foundation came, because I got started to work with kids and develop them.
Can you talk about the first minute you thought about Reggie Stevens Foundation? How did it blossom and come up?
It blossomed. There was Christy Netto, which she's on my board. She was like, you know what, you should start a foundation. You like working with kids. And I go, scared of the paperwork, scared of all the.
What does a foundation mean as far as for kids that can?
It means, I mean, for me, I just basically created a foundation of everything I walked through. The sports side of it, the art side of it, and the education side of it. The sports side, obviously my background playing football, reaching the Super Bowl, and being a person that came from Santa Cruz, that they, people see my size and go, you can't do this, you can't do that, Picked off Troy Aikman, got 3 picks, end up in the Super Bowl. So now what? You know what I mean? So I felt that confidence I could bring into this foundation to help other kids get to college, and I've been able to do that. And then the art side of it, one of my best friends, Jason Williams, Art by Will's lead singer, Ribsy Nickel, he handles the art side of it. The educational side, Christy Netto handles that, and I train kids, and I've been training kids for over 15 years for free.
Yeah.
And
For free?
Yeah, free. So they come in Saturdays and Sundays, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I do all the training. But throughout the training, I get to gauge your character, see what kind of, if I really, really work you, are you going to come back?
Right.
And then I get the.
You want to get your money's worth out of what you put into the kid.
Yeah, well, I want to make them not come back.
Right.
because if they keep coming back, then I know what they're made of.
Yeah.
Then I got to go to the next step. What's your grades like?
Yeah.
So I just did everything that I wish someone would have did for me when I was in high school.
Yeah.
All those things that I just mentioned happened for me when I got out of college with a guy by the name of Raymond Ferris. And if people don't know who he is, he was Jerry Rice's only trainer. And once I learned all of those techniques and everything that we were doing there, I was able to bring that into the Reggie Stevens Foundation as well. And like I said, we did Quinn Brown to Brown, Caleb Womack to San Jose State, Carson Spence to, where he goes, Stephen F. Austin, got a kid from Monterey, Isaiah Bivens to Idaho, Jonah Hodges, USD, Santa Cruz guy. So developing that has been, people ask me why I do it, and it's like when the kids send me a text message or a message or bring me a T-shirt and say thank you for believing in me and working with me day in and day out, or saying how I'm going to make this team. I'm a wide receiver, then I got to transfer him to a defensive back. And that's been the most special thing for me when I get those, or a parent say, man, what can I do for you? You got my kid to Brown. Nothing. Just nothing. Just
When you went from high school to college to the pros, what was the difference in the speed you had to be? What were the differences? Were you already up to spec as far as?
That's a great question.
Did you have to? Do you have to
And what do
increase?
you run? 4.4?
Yeah, I was a 4.41 guy.
From way back.
Yes.
Yeah, I was 10,600 meter.
I could think I could take you right now. Too,
Hey, I got this bad plantar fasciitis. You probably could. Track was a big part, So if any kids are listening to this, you're a football player, track is your best friend. Like it will help develop the speed. And I had Don Roberts, Mr. Wall from Santa Cruz High.
Yeah.
Those are 2 people that were really influential in my life to help me develop my football skill to make me faster. And Coach Cox, I can't say enough about him at Cabrillo. I remember it was him and Rossman. I came in, thought I was this hot shot running back and all this, and I want to be an offensive player. And he goes, no, you're going to play defensive back. I said, what? And he was like,
What is the play that you most remember that you completed in the NFL?
I think it would be an Aikman interception,
Troy Aikman.
personally. Yeah, right?
Troy Aikman.
What did you do? What happened?
Well, first of all, I was nervous as shit.
Well, of course you yeah.
Jason Sehorn, the guy we just talked about, got hurt. He hurt his
so
shoulder.
you're in.
He got a pick. He fell down.
Yeah.
I don't know, messed his shoulder, clavicle, whatever up. And I'm like, God damn, they're gonna call my name and go to this game. And that was that.
Was this in Dallas?
No, this is at the Giants Stadium.
Giants
We won the
Stadium.
game
Okay.
14-10.
Yeah.
And he threw 5 picks.
Wow.
That should tell you about our offense that day. You know what I mean? And I remember we were playing cover 2. Shit, Jeff Metter don't like.
Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff Metter. I love you, brother. But anyways, we were playing cover 2. I remember Rocket Ishmael came out, and I got there early. I jammed him early because you got this 5-yard. You know, it was about 3 yards. I put my hands on him, got a flag. I'm like, damn. So they're gonna come at me the next play, and literally they did come at me the next play. I remember we're still sitting in cover 2, but if you get a vertical on 1 and a vertical on 2, you got to carry number 1. You know, so I teach that to this day. So I was a little late on my number 1 because I had my eyes on 2, trying to read number 2, and then the guy got in front of me. And I was like, damn, and I just ran as fast as I could run. And then I said, well, he's coming outside, going back inside. So I said, I'm going to take the inside because usually I'm guessing on this one. I went inside, and literally I looked up, the ball was there, and I just jumped, and all I heard was the crowd. I was like, motherfucker. I just picked off Troy Aikman. Somebody I grew up.
Did you just walk off the field or did you talk some
No,
trash?
I danced.
I
tried. No.
What kind of dance are you doing?
It was no dance. It was like I just.
Touchdown movie.
It was like I did a little something in the back of the end zone. It wasn't too much of a dance, and I just remember Dave Thomas.
Did you practice at night though? Did you know what dance you were going to be doing?
You know why Coach Terry Shea loved me so much?
Yeah.
Because I never celebrated when I did something really good. Especially in college, I would go give the ball back.
Yeah.
And I got that from
That was
Barry.
Walter Payton, right? Did that?
No, that was Barry Sanders.
Oh, Barry Sanders.
Did you
Like,
have
just
that
hand the
ball? Did you
back.
keep that
I have
ball?
all my interceptions. I have all my helmets and all of that cool stuff. And then I got the game ball that game, and they'll do a ball up for you, and I gave that to my mother. And it was crazy. My mother was a Dallas fan. She was going for Dallas, not the Giants.
What the heck?
And she was like, "Did you go
play
talk to
with
Emmitt
Emmitt?
Smith and get an autograph?" No, Mom. Emmitt, I'm not talking to him after we just.
Did you get a bonus when you do a game like that?
Nah,
No,
you,
there's no-
you only get a bonus when you get into the playoffs, and then your contract basically stops for 17 weeks, and then any money. After 17 weeks is all bonus if you keep winning.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone always wants to know how that goes. Everyone gets the same amount of money for that next 3 to 4 weeks.
Gotcha.
Everybody
Play
gets the
with
same.
Lawrence Taylor?
No,
No.
I played with Michael Strahan,
Oh, you played with Strahan.
Tiki Barber, Jesse Armstead.
Wow, we're talking Hall of Famers, you know?
Yeah, it was walking in a huddle and telling you don't mess it up, rookie.
No fun.
Yeah.
That was, but they were nice to me.
Yeah?
When I started making plays.
Yeah.
So and then that moment at that time in my life went super fast. It was so hard to get there though. It was hard to stay there too. And then I got a bunch of injuries. And then at some point you go, you know what, I'm done. Like this is it. Like my body can't do it anymore. Like what am I trying to prove? You know, there's nothing. I've already did it. And that transition to music and transition to the foundation is literally
When you
Yeah.
had that time where you quit football, I'm sure for a lot of players they don't have a future plan. They got nothing going on. So as soon as that it ends, the money ends. Mm-hmm. But you knew you could fall back on music.
And did you make that call, or did the teams make that call?
You know, honestly, it was a mutual thing because I remember my agent, he got mad at me when I walked out of the Denver Broncos training camp. That's what really ended it, and I got kind of blackballed in that situation because Shanahan was like, why'd you, and this is the first time I've ever talked about this. He was like, well, why'd you walk out? I was like, hey, I got cut. Y'all brought me back. Didn't give me a playbook. So here I am on your team going through training camp, and I don't have a playbook.
You had no playbook?
Nope.
What the fuck were you doing?
Well, the DB coach didn't like me or whatever. Whatever he had against me, I'll never know. Mm-hmm. And I don't care to know.
No.
But all I know, they were 5-0, and then they fired him in week 6.
Yeah.
So clearly something, because if you're winning, you're not firing a coach.
Absolutely.
So something happened, and they blocked me.
So they fired him.
So then they held my rights. The Broncos held my rights. So then I had to retire. I was ready to be done anyways. And then, like I said, I got thrown in that supplemental thing with Nashville. And I go, hey, Tim McGraw, let me try to figure this out.
Right.
And it was something new for me. because I was lost. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? I still got a little left in the tank that I want to play. I went there. I had my demos.
In Nashville?
Nashville.
Right.
Had a talk with Tim McGraw. And then he...
Did the NFL that help you get to open that door? I mean, he's up here.
No. So what happened was, in the transition, that's what it was.
Yeah.
After the Giants, when I got released there, and I was with the Chiefs too. I was kind of like back and forth to Chiefs and the Giants. Then that happened, and then I went to go play Arena, and I got signed by them, so they had my rights. So when I didn't go play, I went back to the Broncos, so they were still holding on to my rights. Then they threw me back in a supplemental draft, and then that's when Nashville picked me up. So that was kind of like how I ended. I didn't pick Nashville; they picked me. But then when I saw what they had to offer, I worked it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And to this day, the coach there was my defensive coordinator, which I'm gonna go see, and I got some business stuff that we're gonna be doing together because now they know about the foundation, they know about the music, they know about everything. Because at the end of the day, Nashville Cats, they gave me a platform.
Well, Nashville's where you want to be, right?
Well, for music
Love
too,
Nashville.
right?
I love Nashville.
Yeah.
I love that place. I worked in some of the biggest studios with the biggest producers there. But the thing is with Nashville that makes it so cool this time around, all of the people that are in ownership, they're all music people and they're women. So they got women owners in there that are like high up.
Yeah.
And then this coach, and he's like, man, you need to come tell your story to these other players that are on the team. Just tell them how you made it from this transition, what Nashville was able to do for you. Because if I don't go there, I can't tell you that I got all this music going and I got, even the foundation the way it is.
Right.
So, when you kind of look back on things, you go, dang, man, that was like a full circle deal right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I always tell people, man, you never burn a bridge.
No.
And you always keep your connections and your resources.
Yep.
And for me, helping kids get to the next level,
Yep.
that's all it's ever been, is I have resources from when I played, and this buddy is now a coach here, or he's a coach there.
No, it's who you know.
They stay in the industry. When we had Dwayne on the show, he said that his teammates said, "You'd be a good coach."
Oh, Dwight?
Yeah, Dwight. Sorry, yeah. And did your teammates ever say that to you? Did they ever say? Has anyone?
No one ever said it to me. I didn't never even know that I would get into coaching. And I remember I had this quarterback at Scotts Valley, and he was struggling, and I just became his mentor the whole year. I stopped coaching him. I just wanted to be a good friend to him, a good man around him, and get him out of the funk that he was in.
Yeah.
And now I'm coaching his younger brothers, his twins, and that's when I kind of, because everyone thinks a football player can go coach. It's not true.
No,
it's not true.
No.
So through the process, I just learned, and then I studied and studied. And then once I understood that, hey, the kids got to trust me first. Then when they trust me, then I can be real with them. Like, yeah, fuck, you messing this up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then I build them back up. And then I remember all the coaches I had. Like how they treated me, the ones I really liked, the ones I really didn't like. Even my son, all this stuff.
You can learn from that.
You learn a lot.
Don't
from
be like the guy. You don't be like the guy that's a dick.
Because yelling at a kid,
not happening.
Ain't I don't have to yell at a kid to motivate them.
Yeah.
I teach them. I teach them, and we do it over and over and over again.
Which coach would you, of all the coaches that you NFL, which coach do you wish you could have got coached by?
You mean like
a Bill Walsh or something like that?
Oh, like the ones I didn't get coached by?
Yeah, who was like one guy you'd like, God, I would love to have.
Well, the guy that I met I was just like, whoa, man, that was like meeting Jesus, was Bill Walsh.
It was Bill Walsh?
Man, you see him in person and you're like, man, that's that guy.
Yeah.
And he's quiet, he don't really say anything.
Right.
And I met him through Raymond Ferris at a practice, and he watched me practice and whatnot. And, I never got a chance to play with the Nine. I was close. But that was one coach that I felt like if I could have got in his system or something like that, I would have been like. And then the other one was Denny Green.
Okay.
Denny Green was another one that I felt like because he lived in Santa Cruz.
He did live in Santa Cruz. I remember that.
Yeah.
Mm. Did he coach at Green Bay?
No, he was at the Vikings at the time.
Minnesota, yeah.
That was another coach that I felt like I could have, been a good person. But, like the coaches I had, John Fox and, Jim Fossil, going all the way back to Steve Cox. Steve Cox was tough. He was tough coach, and he prepared me well Pete Newell Jr. Prepared me well, for when I got up to that next. And they prepared me as a father too, because I never knew I was going to have 2 kids that were going to be athletes as well. And then not blaming the coach, I don't want you coming home and this coach, no. What can you do to get better? It's not always about the coach. Sometimes it's the kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you just gotta work harder and just keep chopping and keep chopping and keep chopping. And eventually, a good coach is gonna go, this kid don't give up. I'm gonna get this kid an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's all I ever did through life. That's what Fossil saw out of me. I was in shape. Every training camp I came, I was in the best shape. I was smart. I didn't make the same mistakes over and over and over. Because I was a free agent, $1,000 signing bonus, $700 after taxes. Staying in a hotel, driving a little Ford Focus rental car, saving my money.
You're good in the Ford Focus, by the way.
Not the one back in the day. and that's where I kind of learned, just my toughness and what I was made of, and the things that Fossil used to say to me was just, he loved me. You know what I mean? He goes, man, if I had more free agents like you, and he kind of forced me to play too.
Yeah.
And that's something that, even when he passed, I shed a tear.
So everything you learn from all these coaches, you're passing along to all the kids. You're just like a
middle
guy.
Is a middle guy that somebody gave something to, and like I said, it'll start back with Tony Hill.
But you have to be a middle guy that knows how to communicate.
Yeah, I'm good at I speak on my strengths is communication.
Yeah.
With kids, with the parents, I had to learn that, to talk to parents in a certain way to where they understand it, and I'm not trying to bash your kid or anything like that.
You got 2 girls?
No, I have a son.
Okay.
Kaijay E. Stevens went to Pepperdine, played basketball there, got his master's at San Bernardino.
Good.
Deja Stevens went to SoCal, water polo, won a CCS, and now she's in her 2nd year at USC.
Very cool.
Playing water polo?
No, she's actually doing club. She's been trying to walk on that team. It's like cracking a code over there to get in there. I'd say, baby girl, don't stop, don't give up. If that's something you want, keep knocking at the door.
Yeah.
Is that the coach in you letting her know that? Like, be recognized by just keep showing up?
And I never coached my kids either. Like, I didn't train them either. I was just their dad and ate popcorn and was a parent. That was the one thing that I
Did you want to coach them?
No. Because then you're yelling at them and trying to correct them, and then now you got to go into dad mode.
Well, I get it. Like, I didn't teach my kids how to snowboard. I put them in lessons.
Yeah.
Because they would yell at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not going to yell at the professional instructor.
Yeah. So I would do things like, I had guy Kelvin Nivens, he ran this CrossFit thing, and I would put him in there, and I said, Kaijay needs to work on this. And my daughter went there as well. Or them going to tutoring or whatever. I just tried to make them, I didn't make them do anything. I just put them, here's the resources. It's up to you to use them. And then from that point, if they were struggling with their coach or something like that, we'd have these discussions.
Yeah.
And then I would be able to tell them about my past on how I was able to transition. And I think that worked out.
Is it hard to leave football when you're an NFL player and it's over? Is there a period of time?
Because you're driving the 450.
Well, I mean,
right?
but
you're driving the fans, right?
But I mean, almost like is it like depression, like a morning?
Yeah, we can
period?
talk about that. I mean, with football in general, you got all the stuff that goes on, all the the stuff that the elephant in the room no one wants to talk about, the depression, all the head injuries, everything. Even the injuries will make you feel a certain way because you wake up hurting all the time. For me, Nashville Cats, once again, it was like, the NFL is over. I got this kind of little nugget right here that's kind of like transitioning to me. I got that record deal. I'm making money. I'm doing something, the other thing that I love. So that transition helped me out. Now, when that one ended, that's when I was like, dang, what do I do now?
What's next?
What do I do?
But you have music to fall back upon.
Yeah, but when the music
ended,
because the economy in 2007 crashed, and it's like nobody signing nobody, lost the deal.
Right.
All of that happened, and I had to literally like reinvent myself. And then that's when I got into coaching.
Yeah.
And then it started here. And I literally would coach for free. Like, I didn't make any money for the first 5 years in coaching or any of that.
How many
shit.
years?
Like, first 5 years.
Yeah, that gets old off.
It was just like, what am I doing? But I love the kids.
Yeah.
I love, and the thing is that people don't realize why, and I want to speak on this too, for the people that might be, because everyone goes, well, what's the hidden agenda? Like, why is he doing this for free? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this or that or whatever?
Because you keep your mind busy too.
Exactly.
Because you don't have any.
So the kids don't understand. They're helping me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
you're sitting at home on the couch with nothing going on. You're gonna.
yeah. There's two things in there for me. The kids help me, and I get to help them.
Yeah.
But also, when I had someone help me navigate, that was the biggest thing, and I got that late. So how could I give that to the kids early to be able to navigate whether you're going to JUCO, NIA, D2, D1, whatever the situation is, and people don't understand.
Yeah.
Recruiters don't come here.
No.
They don't come here. They don't. Hey, do we have a kid? They don't do that.
Right.
They just don't do it. So I have to go and say, hey, we got a kid. You know, I have to do that. Like, and people don't understand how hard that is. But I have to run them through my training sessions. Then I kind of got to see who they are and whatnot. And then from that point on, that's how I'm able to like basically see what type of person that they are for me to make that phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you?
49.
Okay. Going to ask him the question, TC.
The
He's
season,
senior. He's senior enough.
he is senior enough.
Okay. You're senior enough. You're 49 years old.
Well, wait. Let's just do the double. Well, we kind of answered it. I think that Troy Aikman interception probably a highlight
I
of your
don't
career
know.
right there.
I don't know.
Is there a better highlight than that in one day?
Yes.
What's your best day? What was your best day playing football?
My best, man. I had. You got what is it? High school, junior
Whatever,
college.
It could be any. The day that if somebody asked you that question, you'd be like, "Oh, this."
High school was beating SoCal at SoCal. It was
That's
like
for the Axe, right?
Yeah, it was 5,000 people there. It was some major players in that game too on SoCal side, and a lot of guys I'm still friends
What year
with.
was that?
94,
Okay.
93,
Yeah.
93.
Okay.
Packed that
packed.
SoCal. And I love playing at SoCal. Love coaching at SoCal against the
You
White.
got a good field. You got a good
Everything,
field. Yeah.
everything that goes on there. I'd say junior college winning the Lions Bowl MVP. I got MVP.
That was Cabrillo.
Cabrillo. Yep, and we won that MVP. I got the MVP, and we won that game.
And what was it that game that got you MVP?
Punt return.
Oh,
It was a punt return. I got 2 big blocks. The guy horse collared me. I kind of looked like I was going to fall on my back and popped up some kind of way. It was muddy. Stayed on my feet. It was about 70 yards, and I scored. And I was exhausted after the play. And I felt like after that, I was like, I've given it everything that I could give to get out of junior college. Hopefully, I get a really good, offer to move on. And then from there, I say Rutgers. It was running a 94-yard kickoff return against Miami. There was only 2 players that ever ran a kickoff return back against Miami at the time. Or I was the second. The other was
let me dive into that. When did you know that you could make it? I mean, in the first 10 yards, 20 yards, where could you see that window that you could make it to the end zone?
Man, when I got through there and I saw a little daylight, I had like about a room. Jermaine Robinson made a block for me.
Yeah.
And I cut to the sideline, and I remember the ball was like, I couldn't get the ball like this. I had it like this for some reason. And I just hit the sideline, and I'm just like, man, it's going to get called back. That's the first thing I thought. Didn't get called back.
hold or something.
Ran to the sideline, went straight to the water, sat down, didn't want to go back in the game. I was like, I'm done. We're already getting beat by Miami.
Right.
But it was some great players in that game. Reggie Wayne, Edgerrin James, Bubba Franks, Dan Morgan. Yeah. Some great guys in that game. So that was Rutgers. And then when I got to the Giants, it was definitely the interception against Troy Aikman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had some other interceptions. Cordell Stewart, Dave Brown, Trent Dilfer in the preseason, which you guys know Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, of course.
Then obviously making it to the Super Bowl, we lost, and knowing that in my second year, knowing that this will never ever happen again in my life, I'll never. It's how hard it is to get there, and just for that to be the way that went down. And then it was 3 guys from Santa Cruz County in that game. Trent Dilfer, Femi Amadagio, and then myself.
Wow.
And they were on the Ravens. And
how many played? You played in the Super Bowl?
No. I had my foot was tore up, and so was Femi's. So here it is, going to meet him, confetti coming down, and hey man, your foot, my foot, but he's getting his championship ring, and forever he's a champion. Mm-hmm. But I use that to fuel me in the music, so now I'm chasing something else. At some point I want to be Grammy
Maybe not
nominated.
getting hit while you're chasing it though.
Yeah, no.
Let's segue into music, because you obviously are still doing music.
Yeah.
And you got a studio at your house that you're.
No. I usually do all my music stuff up in San Rafael. I got producers up there. I obviously do stuff in Nashville with the producer named David Huff, big time country producer there. So I work in a bunch of different lanes of music. I've been going to Mexico City doing music. Been working with some major people there. This group called Los Coalitas that's from Veracruz. One Drop Scott. I work with Greg Landau. Just did this big song with Omar Sosa. He's a big jazz pianist.
And, did I see you have done some stuff with George Clinton too?
George Clinton.
What
he's
a dude!
Yeah, he's on our Forward Back with me and Jay Wills. And,
Oh, really?
And our godfather is Bill Summers, the big percussionist from the Headhunters. Herbie Hancock, the jazz thing.
Right.
So I met Bill about 3-4 years ago, and then I went through a whole spiritual change in my life, with Ifa, the thing that, that I study, or it's kind of like a religion.
Okay.
And it's just more like just understanding everything about nature, everything about, I'm not going to tie it to God or anything like that, but just being spiritual and understanding my purpose here.
For sure.
And so I went through that whole thing, which that's where music kind of played this part in balancing my life. So a lot of that I bring to the kids as well. So I have way more patience with them now, and now I've added that little piece to the foundation, and then asking kids like, what else do you like? Besides like,
what's
run.
What's your hobbies?
Yeah, what else do you like? Because at some point you're gonna have to transition. But the music stuff has been great, and I had a pinnacle reaching the Super Bowl. So now my pinnacle is I'm chasing a Grammy, a Grammy nomination, and the people that I'm working with, it's like sometimes I think about, I'm like, damn man, George Clinton, I've gotten a sample cleared from Bon Jovi, I got the David Bowie fame cleared, Omar Sosa, Bill Summers, when I think David Huff, when I think about the people that I work with, man, I'm just blessed. But I look at football, I never gave up. I never quit. Look what happened. Yeah. And that's the thing. If if anyone asks me for advice, just don't stop. Yeah. Once you stop, it's hard to get it
going again.
Yeah. It's just like walking a hill or
so
running.
If you win an Emmy, which I hope you win an Emmy, would you mind walking it down the street back in here?
The Grammy?
It's Grammy.
Hey, I'll bring it right here.
We'll bring it in here so we can do a little show.
New show with the podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to do a show for that Grammy.
And the thing is, I know that I'm getting close because just this year I got voted in to be a voting Grammy.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, so I got voted in. So now I can vote at the Grammy. So that's the thing. It's just basically stacking and keep pushing. And then I look at the people that have Grammys that I've worked with, and eventually it's all it's going to take is that one song, and it's just timing. It's a lot of timing that goes into it.
I know you love Nashville, like you said you had, but do you realize how much incredible music there is in this town?
Yeah,
there's so much music in this town.
It's a lot of music in this town, and there's more music in this town that you would know about that a lot of people don't know about. It's just because, for example, like myself, like some of the studios here, I don't work here. Like I had to go out of here to work. I would love to work here. Yeah. But a lot of the people that are great, they leave here. Bands, they get out of here because I feel like, let's take it back to the sports side of it. No one comes here to get anything from Santa Cruz unless it's surf. Right. They don't think we can do anything else. Right. So when you think Santa Cruz, you think it's like when Ashton Davis
he'll tell you. He says it. So people think of Santa Cruz as a brand.
Right.
They don't even know it's a town.
Yeah. Well, and also
they know the logo.
And we don't have a venue in town really either. Like our biggest venues, the Catalyst. We used to have the Civic, but, but we don't really have. And we're just not on the music map.
I would just say, man, if anything could change, it would be radio stations really supporting the local music. You know what I mean? The stations that can really get behind. I would say now radio's changed now, so now you got podcasts, you got all this stuff. Yeah. But even the venues could do a big deal. Because when I go to Nashville or places like Austin, Texas, or even doing like, what Austin, Texas does when they bring in all the music acts, we could easily host something like that. Yeah. So when you see those things, you feel like, a lot of artists that I know or producers, they went to Oakland or they went to San Francisco or they moved somewhere or LA. Like even me, when I got the record deal, I went to LA. Yeah. I didn't get it here. I had to go, but I did a lot of the writing here. But I had to go on this whole journey to go somewhere else to have the record deal. Yeah. So now that I'm here, I'm helping a lot of the artists here. Like I'm linked in with Santa Cruz Vibes magazine.
Yeah.
And
I wrote an article for them.
yeah, I have 6 pages in there.
Do you?
Yeah, so 2 pages I give to the kids that are in my foundation.
Yeah.
And then I find the local musician, and then I do a spread on them through that with Brian Upton. And that's been my way of saying, hey, here's my way through the foundation that I'm giving back to our local artists.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And obviously the foundation could use support, right?
Yeah, we always can use support, and I'm not a big on asking people for money. I always figure out creative ways to raise the money to scholarship kids. But yeah, man, it's it's one of those things. I do my golf tournament every year, which that golf tournament is now done at Spring Hills out in Watsonville. I have a lot of great people come and eat a lot of good food.
Yeah.
Have some golf.
We're gonna play that this year.
Yeah, you got. It's a big. It's a big party. It's a big
You're
party.
back on the course?
I'm back.
You're back?
And
All right.
And then I do my All-Star game, which the foundation pays for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
We are getting ready to do something hopefully really big with Driscoll's that's never been done. That will be the end of June. I don't want to really speak on it, but if it goes through, I'll let you guys know.
Thank you.
And that'll be helping 5 high schools fundraise for their sports program.
Yeah.
Which the thing is, I came with that idea because I already work with all the local kids in different high schools anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, how could I help their programs even more, raise money? Because sometimes you go to facilities, especially like Scotts Valley, you look on the football field, we don't have no equipment.
Right.
We don't have like you go to Mitty,
Yeah.
Palma,
Yeah.
they got everything.
Brand
over
new
there.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
that's why hats off to Dwight Lowry and what he's done over there at that program.
Yeah.
Put a new weight room in. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of support. And when you do things like that, and create that environment over there for the kids, you win a state championship.
Yeah.
And I respect him so much and his staff and what they do.
Yeah.
What's it cost for an average family to play football like at Scotts
That
Valley?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's probably running in the close to $300-400.
Just for equipment.
Equipment,
Yeah.
just even to play.
Right.
So you got to do all of that, and then you got to get all the doctor stuff you got to go through that you got to go, and then the camps.
And first of all, they have to have the grades.
You got to have the grades, so that means so that's where I come into play with the foundation when I fundraise.
Yeah.
A kid comes through my program. I have the learning center with Malika Bell, where a kid can come through, and now we can help the kid with math, English, whatever that
That's
is.
very cool.
And that's why I don't charge for training.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden you got to go pay at the high school to play, and then here's your trainer around the corner to charge you $500 a month.
Don't
I'm
got
like,
it.
man, come over here. I'll give you everything I've ever learned.
Right.
And if it's something that you want to do, male or female, get to the next level, then I'll pick up that phone or that email.
Well, we applaud you.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What you're doing, I'm in awe actually because
It's fun. It's fun.
You are single-handedly changing people's lives.
Yeah. The one that I get emotional, it's 2 of them. They all get me emotional, but there's 2 of them. There's Caleb Womack. Kid came out of San Jose State, got caught up in the COVID.
Yeah.
This kid, by far, was the best kid in our area.
Great athlete.
Great athlete.
Yeah.
Wide receiver for Santa Cruz High. Didn't get a scholarship. I knew some people at San Jose State, and they didn't want him as a wide receiver. So that means I have to retrain him all over. We spent about 4 months together.
During COVID.
Right after.
Okay.
He didn't, during the COVID situation.
Okay. Right.
And I've been training him ever since. And I had a friend over at San Jose State, Terry Malley, and then I had Fred Gaducci that's now at Stanford.
Yeah.
I called him. I said, Fred, this is
This your boy.
you got it. I said I'll never do this. This is the only time I'm doing this with you. You got to take him. They took him, and he got in there and he made it as a defensive back. Now he's a redshirt freshman coming off this. Hopefully he'll play this year. The other kid, John Brown, good friend of mine, put his kid in my program when he was a freshman, and he played basketball. And one day I went up to John and said, "Man, he's done playing basketball. He's a football player." But I had him playing for RSF as a kid, like little kid, boom. And same thing, same team, COVID, 4.2 GPA.
Wow.
Jeez.
Called everybody, nobody took him. Nobody wanted him. We ain't got the money, but whatever the situation was. I said, man, you good with the Ivy League? He's like, yeah. Like, okay. One day I remember I was coming out of Scotts Valley in that little gas station that's sitting there, and some just said, hey, man, pull over, make this call for this kid. Because I was getting irritated that I couldn't get him anywhere. 4.0, one of the best running backs. And I just said, man, I'm going to call Brown. All you have to do is Brown University, go in there, Coach Perry, call him up. Hey, I'm Reggie Stevens from New York Giants. Hey, Coach, I got this kid. This is what I do with my foundation. You mind if I send the film? Oh, man, send the film. Sent the film. 10 months later, they're going to Rhode Island. They try to surprise me when they come back. They're emotional that he got offered.
Wow.
That changed my program because here's a kid that nobody wanted, and now he's getting almost ready to start as a running back. He's also a redshirt freshman, and now he's at Brown. And that thing.
That gave you some street cred right there.
Street cred.
Right.
I mean, it's what it
gives you motivation to keep doing it.
Right?
Yeah, what it did was and I had kids before that.
Yeah.
The kids at the junior college level, all this. But for me, an Ivy League was like, man, if I can get them to an Ivy, I could do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was the fact that the parents trusted me. That was the biggest thing. You trust me, right? I'm not gonna. And even when he got too big, I said, man, you're too big. We need to strip it down. We need to do this. We need to do that. And throughout that whole process, now the kids over there loving, being over there on the East Coast. And it's just this parent fundraises for me now.
Wow. Yeah.
Fun, and he has a smaller kid.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time with the younger one.
Wow.
And that's his way of basically paying back to me. Or if there is a parent that's just met Reggie Stevens, I'm like, go talk to John Brown. He'll tell you the process of how we did it. Because even we were going through the process, he would not fight it, but he would be like, he had no choice but to really trust it, because what is he going to do?
Yeah.
Now he knows the process, and now he can help a parent.
Wow.
Because I'm not, I'm not this service that you come to and pay this money, and then I'm going to make this happen. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
We create the relationship. I don't need any money for it.
Yeah.
I just want to see.
You made that call.
Yeah, it's just, but
Worst he could have said was no.
yeah, and I've done that for
You've
a lot.
heard no before, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course they tell me no. And the kid I got over there, Isaiah Bivens, man. I mean, I coached him at the All-Star game this year, and I remember one of my buddies from Idaho, and he's DB, and I said, and they were kind of talking, and all I did is pull my phone out and said, and my boy was like, "What's up, Reg?" I said, "Hey, I got Bivens over here. I heard you've been looking at him." And Bivens standing right here, and Bivens was like, his eyes like, I said, "Yeah, this is Idaho coach, man. This is where you want to go, right?" Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. I said, "I'm going to be evaluating you throughout the whole week." And then my boy said, "Solid," hung the phone up. When he tagged me on Instagram that he committed, that was emotional.
Yeah.
I bet.
That was, and he gave me a shout out saying thank you. He's like, he said, man, I never met this guy, didn't know too much about this guy, but within the week of being around Reggie, he changed my life basically. And all I did was evaluate the kid, do my research on him, over 4.0. And the thing is that I loved about it was a Monterey kid.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Santa Cruz kid. And that's what I've been trying to do with the foundation, is go from Santa Cruz to
Monterey.
the whole Central Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole Central Coast. That's why I have Santa Cruz versus Monterey in the basketball All-Star game.
North-South. Love it.
And I just don't touch football because they already do a good job over there. So what I do is I go there and give them my time as a coach.
Yeah.
And then I evaluate. Now they see what I can do.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's, because you never know if Bivens, Quinn Brown, Caleb Womack, when I'm gone, will come back and do the same thing.
Right.
We don't know if they're going to do that, And that's what I ask them. I go, "Hey, I don't want anything from you. Give me a T-shirt, your little shout out, and make sure you take care of your parents, man."
Foundation website is what?
ReggieStevens.org, ReggieStevens.
Okay.
.org.
Facebook or Facebook.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Reggie Stevens Foundation, RSF_28 is the Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter person, but I do be on there because there's some good stuff on. Well, X, whatever it's called.
Right.
Yeah.
Reggie, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, Reggie,
Thank you
thanks.
guys, man.
Neil, our town's so amazing.
What's that?
Our town. It's like there's these gems that we are turning over.
Even though you do the football, we always know somebody that knows somebody.
Oh, we do.
Like Wills and your buddy, the coach.
Netter. Yeah.
Netter.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, even though you and I haven't met before, know you're going to, in this town, you're going to.
Yeah, we run into each other. But I want to give you guys a shout out because your platform is helping me get my story out there. I saw when Dwight and Jordan McCord was on here. I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, thank
because
you.
That team and those players and what they did this year, that might not ever be done again.
Right.
What they did.
Incredible story.
Very, very historic. And you guys giving us a platform to come on your show and your listeners, man, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart
You're
because
welcome. It was our pleasure.
yeah, no, man, this was
It's great hearing your
And you
story.
live up the street. You'll be back.
Right up
You're
the-
coming back.
The neighbor.
Hey, Reg,
I walk my dog down 41st.
hey, Reggie,
man.
my guest didn't show up. Can you come down?
Hurry up, get down here.
Of course, I'll come down, man. For you guys, I'll do anything, man. So I just want to say thank
We
you.
can help you any way
Yeah.
we can. As far as your foundation, we'd be happy to.
You
get
did
the
it,
word
man.
out.
You did it. You brought me on the show so
Yeah.
I could tell my story and talk about the kids that run through the foundation. And I'm here for every kid. It's not a Santa Cruz High kid or a SoCal kid. Watsonville all the way down. I'm here to give you everything until I can't give it anymore. So.
You know Buddy Kerrigan, Buddy Ball?
Oh, Buddy, come
Yeah,
on, man. That's my
'cause-
guy.
yeah,
Buddy knows what I do.
Well, and Buddy's
Yeah.
here. You guys
Yeah.
have the same kind of mission,
Yeah.
in a way. And I've actually, Buddy told me I'm the only person who's donated to every Buddy Ball tournament. I've donated
Wow.
to every single one of them that he's done.
Buddy's given a lot to a lot of programs.
Yes.
and kids. And when Buddy started seeing what I was doing when I first got my coaching job up there, he was up at Scotts Valley, and he saw me grow and morph into this whole Reggie Stevens Foundation, RSF, and Buddy's a good friend of mine.
Cool.
Yeah.
He walks by here all the time.
I
So,
love Buddy.
Buddy's
You
great.
see, Rufo's tuned in.
Nice. Yeah,
Rufo.
Roof. I love that. Hi,
Rufo?
Roof.
Yeah, Rufo.
What's up,
Yeah,
Rufo?
Roof. Well,
Who's your
Reggie.
daddy? Roof's in the house.
Well, it was great having you on the show, Reggie.
Man, thank you.
Yeah, congrats.
Anytime.
Keep up the good work. I mean, you're changing lives, and
Yeah.
the reward. That's the reward, and
Yeah,
congrats. And so, keep up the good work. We'll check in with you another time.
Yeah.
Get the update.
Okay.
I'm happy to support with raffle prizes when you have a foundation event.
I would love to
I will-
support you in this
He
beautiful
gives to
story.
everybody.
I'm happy to help you out. So I love what you're doing, and we will
appreciate
work
that.
together in the future. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Like I said, this town's full of gems, and we unturned another one tonight. Reggie Stevens
Thank you, guys.
doing a great job.
Thanks, bro.
And Neil,
Yep.
thank you.
you
Last
soon.
night was a debacle.
Oh my God.
We got rowdy. And we got very rowdy.
Yeah.
But again, thanks, everybody. Tune in next time on the Off Lip Radio Show, and good night.